On this video we're taking a look at our Nbadium and total picks for the games that are happening on Sunday, May 1st, 2022. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Boston Celtics vs Milwaukee Bucks. Our first pick is Boston minus 4.5 points. And here is why. The Milwaukee Bucks are coming into this series with plenty of confidence after blowing past the short-handed Bulls in a 5-game series in the first round. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the team with averages of 28.6 points, 13.4 rebounds and 6.2 assists per game. Jrue Holiday averaged 16.4 points, 5.0 rebounds and 6.8 assists per game, while Brook Lopez averaged 13.2 points and 4.4 rebounds per game. As a team, the Bucks scored 109.8 points per game while shooting 47.2% from the field and 38.0% from the three-point line. George Hill is expected to sit out Game 1 due to an abdomen injury, while Chris Middleton will miss the entire series due to MCL sprain. Antetokounmpo has the size to plow through bodies on his way to the rim. If he isn't getting up shots, he's drawing fouls. Jrue Holiday is a tremendous two-way guard on the floor for the Bucks, and Grayson Allen is also coming alive off the bench. One distinct difference this time around is the fact that the Bucks can win on the boards. The Nets were undersized throughout their series against Boston, and it was a lingering issue in every game. Milwaukee is the number 3 ranked rebounding team in the league, and unlike Brooklyn, they're one of the better defensive teams as well, especially in the postseason. They held the Bulls to less than 100 points in 3 of the 5 games in their previous series. These Bucks can play bully ball on the court as well, if not better than the Celtics. The Boston Celtics will be fully rested coming into this one as they haven't seen the court since they swept the Nets. Jason Tatum led the team with averages of 29.5 points, 4.5 rebounds and 7.3 assists per game. Jaylen Brown averaged 22.5 points, 5.3 rebounds and 4.3 assists. Marcus Smart scored 16.5 points and 7.0 assists, while Al Horford averaged 13.0 points and 7.5 rebounds per game. As a team, the Celtics scored 113.5 points per game while shooting 49.0% from the field and 35.5% from the three-point line. The Celtics are coming into this series at full strength as they don't have a single player listed on the injury report. The Bucks were able to easily get past the short-handed Bulls without the services of Middleton, but they could really use him in this series to match up against the Celtics' Tatum, who has been on fire in these playoffs. The Celtics were expected to go the distance against the Nets in the first round, but they were really impressive in their sweep, which meant that they were at full strength for this series with no one having to play heavy minutes. I expect this to be a long series, but the Bucks are 0-4 Austrian shillings in the last 4 meetings in Boston, and I think that trend continues here as the Celtics draw first blood with a gritty win and cover at home. Our total pick is under 217 points. And here is why. On the season, Milwaukee ranks number 3 in scoring, averaging 115.5 per contest. The Bucks convert at just under 47% from the field and are among the top 3-point shooting teams in the league, knocking down better than 36.5% from beyond the arc. They will need a big-time performance from Jrue Holiday in Middleton's absence and going against the top defense in the NBA. On the defensive side, the Bucks allow roughly 112 points per game, 19th, while conceding 45.5% from the field. You would be hard-pressed to find a team in the NBA that looks better than the Boston Celtics right now. After dismantling the preseason favorites in impressive fashion, they now set their sights on the defending champions. Jason Tatum was spectacular against the Nets, averaging 29.5 points per game while playing excellent defense. He has emerged as one of the premier two-way threats in the league down the final stretch of the season. Look for Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart to try and get involved early in Game 1 and make their presence felt throughout. The Celtics rank as the number 1 scoring defense in the league, allowing just 104.5 points per game. They play ferocious shot defense, allowing below 44% from the field, including less than 34% from beyond the arc, again ranking first in both categories. With perhaps the most explosive offensive threat in the league in Giannis on the other side, we should see a fascinating chess match as the series evolves. Offensively, Boston ranks towards the middle of the pack, with the number 12 scoring offense averaging 112 per contest. Boston converts at around 46.5% from the field and 35.5% from beyond the arc. Memphis Grizzlies vs Golden State Warriors. Our team pick is Golden State -2. And here is why. There was a time when the Golden State Warriors were the Memphis Grizzlies, a young up-and-coming team led by a feisty point guard. Now, 3 world championships and countless accolades later, the Warriors are the old guard of the NBA and will attempt to fight off the young pups in round 2 of the Western Conference playoffs. The Warriors are not the same team that made it to 5 consecutive NBA finals, however. Yes, Steph Curry is still here, as well as Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, but the Warriors have some fresh faces too in guards Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. In the playoffs thus far, Poole has started in place of Curry, who seemed to be comfortable coming off the bench following a late-season foot injury. Poole averaged 21 points and 5.4 assists in the 5-game dismantling of the Nuggets. More impressively for Golden State was the play of Klay Thompson. Returning this season after more than 2 seasons, Thompson oftentimes looked inconsistent during the regular season. Against Denver in round 1, Thompson was second on the team in minutes played behind Green, averaged over 22 points per game on 51% shooting, and drilled 4.43 PT shots a game. At one time, Thompson was second only to Curry in the NBA in his ability to stretch the floor due to his 3 PT game. If he continues at this level, Memphis's defense will have a hard time containing the Warriors. It may not have gone according to plan for the second-seeded Grizzlies, but they showed toughness and moved on to the second round of the NBA playoffs. In Game 6 on Friday night, the Grizzlies again overcame a deficit and again dominated the fourth quarter to advance to the next round. Dillon Brooks scored 23 points before fouling out, and Devin Bane matched him as the Grizzlies closed out Minnesota 114-106 in the Target Center in Minnesota. All-star guard Ja Morant was held to just 17 points on 4 of 14 shooting, but did dish out 11 assists to go along with 8 rebounds in the win. Memphis's bench delivered again with 31 points including 17 points, 11 rebounds and 5 assists from Brandon Clark. Backup point guard Tyus Jones played 26 minutes and scored 10 points, including a critical 3 PT shot that sealed the win for Memphis. The young and hungry Grizzlies will now host the Warriors in a series that seemingly pits the NBA's future versus the NBA's past. Golden State has not played since Wednesday as they closed out the Denver Nuggets in 5 games. In Game 5, they got out to an early lead, but Denver rallied in the second and third quarters to take the lead. Yet, in the fourth, the Warriors outscored the Nuggets by 12 to get the win. They were led by Steph Curry who dropped 30, while Klay Thompson and Gary Payton II both had 15, Andrew Wiggins had 12, and Draymond Green chipped in with 11. With Memphis having to go 6 games, they only have 1 day off after their last series as they go to Golden State to play the Warriors. In Game 6 against Minnesota, Memphis was led Desmond Bane who dropped 23, while Dillon Brooks also had 23. Jaren Jackson Jr. had 18, Ja Morant and Brandon Clark off the bench had double-doubles as Morant had 17 points and 11 assists, while Clark had 17 points and 11 rebounds. Tyus Jones also had 10 off the bench. Coming into Game 1 of this series, the Warriors are rested and ready with a veteran playoff squad, while the Grizzlies come in after a hard-fought 6-game series with Minnesota. The Warriors, while having lost 3 out of 4 to the Grizz in the regular season, will employ a lineup that Memphis has not seen together all season. I fully expect Memphis to mix and match defenders on both Morant and Bane to slow down the Grizzlies' biggest weapons. It has to be a concern for the Grizzlies that Ja Morant's shooting percentage has dropped nearly 10% from the regular season to the playoffs. Even more jarring is the fact that he's increased his shots at the rim from 43% in the regular season to 58% in the playoffs. So, while he is getting to the rim, he has struggled to convert. As a result, he averaged 6 fewer points per game in the series than he did in the regular season. Bane, on the other hand, saw his average jump over 5 points from 18.2 to 23.5 in the playoffs. He converted on 27 for 56 three-pointers in the series. While Golden State will send a variety of defenders at Morant to make him uncomfortable, I expect Golden State to feature Thompson on Bane. Thompson is a former All-NBA defender and should be able to bother Bane and try and force him off his spot. Thompson's own improving offense may give Memphis fits and provides even more spacing for the likes of Poole and Wiggins to penetrate the Memphis defense. Game 1 of this series should go to the more experienced, rested team. Our total pick for that game is over 219.5 points. And here is why. The Golden State Warriors are averaging 118 points on 51.5% shooting and allowing 110 points on 47.7% shooting. Stephen Curry is averaging 28 points and 5.4 assists, while Klay Thompson is averaging 22.6 points and 3.8 rebounds. Jordan Poole is the third double-digit scorer, and Andrew Wiggins is grabbing 6.8 rebounds. The Golden State Warriors are shooting 42.2% from beyond the arc and 70.1% from the free throw line. The Golden State Warriors are allowing 35.9% shooting from deep and are grabbing 35.8 rebounds per game. The Memphis Grizzlies are averaging 114.7 points on 45.4% shooting and allowing 109.2 points on 44.3% shooting. Desmond Bane is averaging 23.5 points and 2.2 assists, while Ja Morant is averaging 21.5 points and 10.5 assists. Dillon Brooks is the third double-digit scorer, and Brandon Clark is grabbing 9 rebounds. The Memphis Grizzlies are shooting 36.3% from beyond the arc and 72.7% from the free throw line. The Memphis Grizzlies are allowing 38.8% shooting from deep and are grabbing 46.3 rebounds per game. In the postseason, Memphis has been led by Bane, who's averaging 23.5 ppg, while Morant is averaging 21.5, and Brooks and Clark are averaging 16.5. In the 6 games, they shot 45.3% from the field and 36.1% from 3, while in the regular season, they shot 46.1% from the field and 35.3% from 3, so they are shooting around the same. At home this season, the Grizzlies went 30-11, and against Western Conference teams they went 36-16. The Warriors went 1-3 against Memphis in the regular season, but they had a ton of injuries during the season. They also went 1-3 against Denver in the regular season, and that didn't seem to matter much. So far in the playoffs, they have been led by Curry, who's averaging 28 ppg, while Thompson is averaging 22.6 and Poole is averaging 21. They are also shooting 51.5% from the field and 42.4% from 3, compared to 46.9% from the field in the regular season and 36.4% from 3 in the regular season. In the season, they also went 22-19 on the road and 33-19 against Western Conference teams. The Memphis coaching staff will have some interesting decisions to make as they prepare to take on Golden State. The Grizzlies handled the Warriors with relative ease in the regular season, winning 3 of 4 games, but now face a rested, healthy and experienced Warriors lineup in the playoffs. Center Steven Adams saw limited minutes in the Minnesota series once it became evident that Karl-Anthony Towns could expose him out on the perimeter. It will be interesting to see if the Grizzlies once again start Adams or stick with a smaller lineup that features more minutes for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Clark on the floor at the same time. The Warriors don't play many overly big lineups and often employ what separates this Warriors team from many teams left in the NBA playoffs is its ability to defend the basketball. Golden State was 4th in the NBA in opponents' points per game this season, shaving nearly 8 points off of last year's team average. The return of Thompson has helped along with the infusion of players like Poole that can defend on the perimeter and, of course, the always top-level defense of Green. Golden State also finished 2nd in defensive efficiency and 2nd behind Boston in opponents' shooting percentage. Poole's defense against Morant may be critical in this series as well as Green's ability to cover multiple players on the floor. The Warriors were just 1-3 versus Memphis this season, but did not play any of the games with Curry, Thompson and Green healthy at the same time. Game 1 will mark the first such game that all 3 will likely be on the floor at the same time versus Memphis this season. Disclaimer, no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you the user or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.